I go that's a bit better.
He was then taken to St James's Palace for one final night before being beheaded out the front of a banqueting house. Then for a while we were led by the guy in there with the big sword. His name was Oliver Cromwell. He was the Lord Protector of the realm. Unfortunately, the power went to his head and he started banning some things. He banned Christmas, he banned singing. Worst of all, folks, he banned drinking. That graves of Charles Dickens, of Sir Isaac Newton. The Prime Minister gets driven from Downing Street, which is a little bit further down on the left, gets driven down 2 minutes in against politicians for questions to the Prime Minister to try and keep him to account. After that, he then gets driven over to Buckingham Palace, where he has a private audience with the King. So on the lamps there, if you have a look.
Oh, yeah.
So lots of couples, they write their names here. Unfortunately, Westminster Council have the habit of cutting them down.
On the gate thing. Yes. On the people gate thing. Yes.
Here on the left. For Lambeth Palace, the second largest collection of religious texts in the world. The only one you can find larger than this is over in the Vatican. Of course it is, it's the Vatican. And then behind these, this wall here, these are the lovely gardens of Lambeth Palace. Lambeth Palace being the London home for the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby. He is the man who placed the crown on Charles's head during the coronation, and he lives in the castle just in front of us. So this, unfortunately, folks, is where I'm going to leave you, lovely people. However, you will be back on the road in just 1 second. You'll have another guide and driver taking over, so just stay where you are. Very much, it's been lovely to see you today in London. Feel free to later if you've enjoyed us. My name is James. If you've not,
we have a bus running every 20 minutes, so you're welcome to hop off anytime you like and wait for the next one. Just a few rules before we get started. Now, it's Lambeth Palace, and that's the home of the Archbishop of Canterbury. So, not he would be the king, but the spiritual head of the church. He's the man who put the crown on the king's head during the coronation. And that's the house that comes with the job. Pretty nice. Almost makes you consider becoming a priest. Almost. He was leading that. Now in that churchyard there is a man buried here. His name is John Tradesque, and why on each side of the Lambeth Bridge that we're going to cross now we can see pineapples mounted on top of these columns. They don't look like pineapples, but they are pineapples, although there's a feud going on amongst us guys as to whether they are pine cones or pineapples, but according to me they are pineapples, so I'll say they are pineapples. Also because you might see pineapples in different locations in London or in England, just because during Regency George it cost you the equivalent of £20,000 to buy one. So when you had one, you would show it off. You wouldn't even heat it. You would just show it off everywhere to anyone you knew to show that you had money. So that's the reason why pineapples were a popular pattern back in the day, both in fashion and architecture. So if you see a pineapple anywhere in London, you know why. Now ahead of us on the left, there is a big white building. This big white building is the secret agent's work to the protection of the country. So smile, because you are currently being filmed. This whole area is under CCTV. And if you are calling or texting anyone right now, there is a good chance that a secret agent is reading through your text or listening to your calls. So don't do anything illegal in this area of London. Or at least not in my bus. If you want to commit any crimes outside my bus, it's not my problem. Now on the right, this is Parliament Gardens. And that lovely little monument on the right, that's the Buxton Memorial. A memorial to commemorate the end of slavery in the United Kingdom. And it's currently being refurbished because next year we will celebrate the 200 years anniversary of the end of slavery in the UK. Now if you want to explore Westminster Abbey, we have a stop coming up now. If you just want to explore Westminster, even if you just want to walk around, that's our stop number 14 on your map for College Green at Parliament. Stop number 14.
Thank you very much.
So on your right is of course Westminster. No, on your right is Houses of Parliament, and it looks a bit older than it actually is. This version of the building was built in the 18th century after the previous Parliament burned down, but it was designed that way just so it would match the aesthetic of Westminster Abbey on your left. So that's Mary, Queen of Scots, which I think is pretty ironic when you know that Elizabeth I had Mary. Now this big church on the left is of course Westminster Abbey, the church of kings and queens where they are crowned, buried and married. Not in that order, usually married before they're buried. But you can now see the entrance to the abbey right here. If you follow the coronation of the king last May, it was here, of course. Ian Fleming wrote the books James Bond, so that's where it's because of all the spice that used to come from the secret tunnel inside the restaurant of the bar of the hotel. So when you went here for a drink, again you had to watch what you were saying because you never knew who might have been listening to you.